It's a bad time to be on these dating apps. It's a bad time to be out of shape. It's a bad time to be endlessly scrolling on Twitter, addicted to video games. Dopamine detox is for the people who they're willing to take a loss from their social groups for a minute, take a loss from dating and sex for a minute. They're willing to take a little loss, sometimes even from the profit. Sometimes the profit has to get cut so that you don't cut off the life source of what's gonna bring you more profit in the future. It's easier to cut down a tree, but it's hard to uproot a tree. So you gotta be like a tree so you don't get uprooted. And the only way you get cut down is if you don't agree to take a cut on the distractions. If you don't agree to cut toxic people out of your life. If you don't agree to cut negative influences. If you don't agree to cut alcohol. If you don't agree to cut drugs. If you don't agree to cut dating apps. If you don't agree to cut video games. Agree to cut anything out of your life that is not helping your tree get bigger and bigger and bigger year after year. Cut it off. Just like the tree cuts off those leaves during winter month. It's a bad time to have leaves.
Eating to live, yeah, I'm living to eat. Catch me enjoying vegan recipes. Fiend for chlorophyll.
Greetings, it's your boy Gartatia. Today, it is finally time to speak about my 5 months dopamine detox benefits. My experience of doing dopamine detox, aka monk mode, for 5 months. A lot of you all are questioning what is dopamine detox. So before I talk about my benefits, just to break it down, and I've come up with this analogy that kind of breaks down the concept of dopamine detox for me. So I'm going to illustrate using a tree. So think about a tree. Think about you, a human, being a tree. Think about you having an idea, wanting to bring that idea into reality. Think of that as being a seed. So we all know trees start off as a seed. Apple falls off the apple tree, decomposes, and then the seed goes into the soil, gets all the nutrients and the water from the soil, germinates, builds this extensive root network, probably stays underground for a long time just building a network, and then you see the sprouts. So we understand nature. We know how that works. So the seed is the idea that you have of your business. The seed is the idea that you have of getting to your destination. The seed is the idea you have of becoming your best version. It's the plan. It's the, I've always wanted to be a doctor when I grow up. It's the, I keep saying I'm going to start a podcast, but I never have the time. A seed is the, I keep saying that I want to try out for the NBA. I want to become the best at my high school varsity team. I want to be the best at my college football team, and maybe I can get drafted. That's the seed. It hasn't happened yet, but it's the idea that kind of keeps you up at night. When the head hits the pillow, it's like, oh, I didn't do anything today. It's the seed is what eats you alive when you're not basically planting it. It's going to eat you alive. So dopamine detox we're going to explain it. So the seed is the idea, right? The concept of dopamine detox is now after you've planted the seed and you've kind of accepted the challenge that comes with, okay, I'm going to pursue my dream. I'm going to be that pro basketball player. I'm going to go to medical school, become a doctor, and then grow my platform where I shoot podcasts every day, doing Q&As, answering my listeners' questions. Whatever it is that you do, dopamine detox essentially is saying, so you can do dopamine detox at any stage. From my understanding though, dopamine detox, aka monk mode, to me it's for people who they already kind of have a direction that they want to channel their energy to. They kind of already have intention. They kind of have already written down goals and are now at the phase of, okay, now they want to make that happen. Think of Phineas and Ferb. So stick with us, cause Phineas and Ferb are gonna do it all. That was my show growing up. And that's actually partly why I wanted to be an engineer, because I love how the episode will always start with Phineas and Ferb just bored, and it's summertime. It's 101 days of summer vacation. Just to end. I forgot the theme song, but anywho. And then they would just be bored, and then they would just like, you know what? Let's do something. Let's build a slide, or let's build an airplane to go to space or something. And they would just Ferb would always pull out the blueprints. They would just draw blueprints, and then they would get the equipment, and then they would build it. And then they would test it, and then sometimes it would fail, sometimes it wouldn't fail. If it failed, it would go back to the drawing board, make a better one. If it didn't fail, then it would just be a good episode. So I say this to say, you start off with a blueprint. So dopamine detox, in my opinion, is anyone can do it, just to kind of, if you're not even someone, like you're just trying to, maybe your seed is just to climb the rungs of the corporate ladder. Maybe your seed is to be a better dad. Maybe your seed is to be a better father, have a better relationship, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be like some big purpose, but I can only speak from my experience and how I've used dopamine detox. And I have used dopamine detox in a way to kind of be a supplement to my mission of taking my podcast to the next level, my mission of becoming a YouTuber, my mission of taking my music to the stages now, taking my music to the radio station, taking my music to TikTok in a viral way, my mission to taking yoga and my spirituality practices to a wider audience, building a platform there, right? So these are the reasons I kind of went into dopamine detox. I had a mission. I didn't just go into it willy-nilly like, oh, I've just been too distracted lately and I just need, it's too much chaos in my life. It was more so I was already kind of disciplined. I was already kind of getting stuff done, but I just needed that extra boost to really kind of block out the other distractions so that I'm just using my time more wisely. So coming back to the tree example, so you all see how my mind works. I go off on a tangent, I come back. At least I come back. Unlike Kanye West. Anywho, so coming back to the tree example, so the seed part of the tree, that's the idea, that's the concept. Now, the part where the seed is germinating, developing root systems, and kind of underground stage and hasn't like done anything yet, these are the beginning stages of you trying to make your stuff happen. So a lot of time, this is before dopamine detox. This is kind of, I'm explaining self-improvement, and then you'll see how dopamine detox kicks in. So all of this is not even dopamine detox yet. So the underground seed, the root stage, and I'm grabbing phosphorus here, I'm grabbing nitrogen here, I'm grabbing micronutrients. Oh, this bird just died, so this carbon I'm gonna soak up, the roots are just going around thirsty, soaking up carbon and soaking up ashes and soaking up dead bugs and stuff. It's just using all this energy and water, slurping up all this water, just getting up all this energy, because the roots need a lot of energy to do a big thing, which is go to the next step, go from being a seed to like coming out of the ground. So the coming out of the ground phase, this is a phase of self-improvement. It's still not dopamine detox yet. So the coming out of the ground phase, in my opinion, this is the phase where you have been trying for about 6 months, still new, but you've kind of developed systems. Say you are a YouTuber. You've kind of developed templates. Say you edit your videos. You kind of have a style now. You kind of have a specific font that you use. You have a schedule to get videos out at a certain time. You've kind of developed a system. So this is the point where you're kind of out of the ground. A lot of something that used to take you 3 hours to do, you can do it in like 1 hour now because you're getting better at editing. So that's why I say you're still beginning phases because you're not prospering yet. Your audience isn't where you want it to be yet, but just the mechanics of producing the content has just become easier. It's become more habitual. So this is the phase where you're a little sprout, you're a sapling. You're a sapling. You're not a tree yet. You're not even a plant, but you're a sapling. At least you come out the ground and you can start doing something. Now, here's the thing. Here's what makes this part so important. At first, when you're underground, all you could rely on is the roots. So that analogy is when you are at the beginning of your career, a lot of times, a lot of people won't support you at the beginning. So all you have is your roots. Just like when the tree is a seed, it doesn't really have support. All your energy kind of comes from internal. That's just your motivation. Because at that beginning phases, maybe like the first week or two, your friends might support you. But after that, they're not, it's all you. It's just all you. People kind of need to see you produce some value first before they start supporting you. So for the first 6 months or so, your value is not going to be that great. Your content is not going to be that great because you're still learning. So a lot of times, all the motivation to do good has to come sheerly from your internal energy, i.e. coming from those roots, gathering nutrients from the soil. But here's the thing. When you're a sapling, you get a new source of energy. What do plants get the moment they come out of the ground? They get the sun. So what is the sun? The sun is another source of energy. Again, we're still not talking about dopamine detox. The sun is another source of energy. What does the sun do? The sun is basically another way for a plant to get food. At first, the plant could only get energy and food from the soil, but now that it has come through the surface, so it's burst through the ground. That means that people are now seeing you. Your content, it may not be great, it may not even be good, but people are seeing that you're trying to do something. People are starting to comment. People may repost some of your stuff here and there without you having to ask them all the time. People are automatically commenting on your posts. Like, you're making things it's bringing attention. You've broken through that first barrier of like, okay, now you're out here. Now people know, now you're known for something now. At first it was just, oh, he's trying something. But now it's like, oh, people might start calling you by your podcast name. Oh, the Treehouse Show. Oh, Mr. Treehouse Show. You'll go to parties and stuff. He'll be like, oh yeah, you do the photography. That's when people your identity starts becoming merged with who you are at this point, because now you've broken through that barrier of kind of invisibility where people weren't seeing you. So that's good, because that source of sun, that is another source of energy. So now it might not be, it's still hard. Like 90% of the effort still has to come internally, but you might get 10% help from others here and there. Maybe somebody sees what you're doing, will believe in you. Maybe you might not have a car. They might volunteer to like drive you places, to meet people, because they see you, okay, he's really serious about it. I kind of want to be a part of his journey. So that's the sun. That's that extra people coming in to kind of help you. You got people, say if you do a podcast or like you're a YouTuber, you do collabs. So at this phase, people start doing collabs with you. So that's that extra energy coming from other people now trying to, and it's not for unselfish reasons. It is partially because they see something in you, so they want some of that too. But it doesn't matter. The end result is they're still helping you because you're still a sapling. Now the next level is you go from a sapling to a tree. Sapling to a tree. And a small tree, not a fully grown tree, but just basically you're no longer a plant anymore. You're like, trees, they start off as plants, but they get bark. They start becoming like woody and barky. So you're going through the phase, you're starting to get bark. So that's you're getting skin in the game, right? You're going to the phase, now you're starting to grow branches. You're starting to grow branches so that you can get more leaves, right? So you can get more sun. So what's the branching? That's you branching out, right? You networking more. Your platform is going from, this is where you start to get a community. You start to get a fan base. This is where people start tagging you. People start shouting you out. This is the phase of self-improvement where most of the energy does come from you, maybe 70%, but it's going down. You are getting a lot of lift ups from other people now. You're getting bigger guests on your podcast. You're getting people with bigger platforms coming on. You're getting people just talking about you randomly and tagging you and stuff like, oh, this reminded me of here, this reminded me of there. At this point, you might have 50 or so episodes under your belt of whatever you're doing. Just to give you a time frame, this usually occurs like between a year to two. This phase is about from a year to 2 years into your business. So this is, you've been doing it long enough where like if you would have quit, you would have quit by now. Most people quit before they get to this phase of becoming like a tree. So, but just not a complete tree yet, but just growing into a tree. They're getting bark. The branches are coming out, leaves, so-and-so. So this is the part where a lot of people, before they give up before they get to this part, most people get to the sapling stage, but then they often get discouraged because they thought that the support should be more, but it wasn't enough, didn't meet their expectations. So most people give up. Like 90% of people give up at the phase before the plant phase. But this phase, so the 10% who survive, it's like a year, 2 years, they've been doing music. These are the people who've been doing music. And this phase, actually, let me reiterate. This phase, I'm not going to put a year on it because some people be stuck in purgatory. They be stuck in this phase for years. Me personally, I'm going into like my 3rd year. So I would say though, I'm kind of going to the next phase. But I would say this phase can last, for the people who learn fast, it can last 1 year. But for people who are slow learners, it can be up to 5 years. So I'll say this phase can be 1 to 5 years where, you kind of have like 1,000 to 2,000 followers. You are, You don't have that many fans, but you have you have at least like 20 people who really rock with you, right? And it's like, yeah, they go watch your videos, so on and so forth. So this is the phase where it's easy to get complacent. Now here's where dopamine detox come in, and this analogy is going to make sense. So this is the phase where a lot of people get complacent. They don't meet their money goals. However, if it's more like if their purpose is like trying to get money, they'll get like enough money on the side at this phase to the point where they're comfortable. They're not great, they're not rich, but they're able to like buy, some new bells and whistles. They're able to just do more things, go more places, maybe get, a nicer car or whatever. This is a phase where people, they're not prospering, but this is a phase where people can get comfortable and be like, I would love to be better, but this isn't that bad. So a lot of people just stay in this phase because of that. And also this is the phase where the people who do want to go to the next level, they reach a roadblock. Now here's why the tree analogy is going to make sense. What do trees have to deal with every year? The 4 seasons. So the 4 seasons, this is where dopamine detox is going to come in. So the way I look at it, remember the seed is the idea that you have, right? That's your purpose. The tree growing, that is your purpose growing. That is your purpose sprouting through the ground. That is your purpose becoming a little plant. That is your purpose becoming a young tree, right? That is your purpose becoming a full tall sycamore, whatever. That's all your purpose. Now, what are the seasons? The seasons are the resistance, right? The seasons are the challenges you face. The seasons are also the good things. The seasons are the good luck, the lucky strike. The seasons are beginner's luck. The seasons are, somehow the stars aligning, and then everything serendipitously just playing out. Good luck. All of these are the seasons. Think of that like that. And think of dopamine detox. Dopamine detox is the adaptations that the tree does to survive. That's dopamine detox. So what do I mean by that? So say it's summertime. What happens in the summertime? The tree has all these beautiful leaves, branches, and then they're green. So that means that they're taking in and converting as much of that sunlight through photosynthesis into energy. That's the phase where we're eating. So summer's not actually summer, but it could just mean any time that your business is doing really good, right? That's summertime of your business, like maximum productivity. Clients knocking on your door. You got people asking, when can I see you? Right? If you're like a personal trainer, like, when can I see you again? People reaching out to you, trying to network with you. You got big shots trying to do deals with you. You got people trying to collab with you. That's this prosperity, right? It's the summertime. You're getting a lot of money. Or your business, if it's more so building a platform, you're getting a lot of new followers. This is a phase where you're getting a lot of you wake up every day, like your TikTok is getting like 10 new followers, 30 new followers. Like, it's just a phase of prosperity. And this phase can last, so I say 4 seasons. It don't actually got to be 3 months, a season. This phase could last a week. This phase could last 3 months. This phase could last 6 months. If you're doing it right, you want to extend this phase as much as possible. But again, we'll explain why dopamine detox comes in. I know, hang in there. I promise we're going to get to dopamine detox. Okay, I'm still explaining how the seasons and the trees relate to the challenges of your business. Okay, so, and then what is fall? So fall is the fall. So the fall is, it's not the absolute lowest point, but it's like all that prosperity you're experiencing in the summertime when your business was popping, it's kind of going down a little bit. So maybe at first, 10 people was reaching out to you a week. Now people still reaching out, but it's like 5 people reaching out. Maybe you used to get 50 comments on your post. Now you're getting 30. Now you're getting 25. Say you was making maybe 5K a month from your business. Now you're making 4K, 3K. Essentially, it's a gradual decline. It's not like the bottom. It's not the worst. But this is where you start to like, okay, something's going wrong. Maybe during the summer, you kind of put your foot off the gas a little bit. You thought that you was And in the passive income stage, you thought you had a 4-hour work week looking ass. You thought everything was Gucci. You thought everything was roses and nah. That's when you be like, okay, life ain't that easy. Like I need to apply myself again. So this fall, and then what happens in the fall to leaves, right? They kind of start turning brown. They start kind of falling off. When they're brown, they're not taking as much energy. Just like your business is not taking in as much money anymore. A lot of your effort, right? When you had a lot of leaves, you was getting a lot of help from the sun. That's the support you was getting. That's the extra money you get. The clients you was getting. But now the leaves are falling away, and also they turning brown. You have to rely more on what do the trees do? They start relying more and more so on the nutrients they get from the ground, from the soil now. That's that inner universe. It's kind of going back to like, okay, how can I internalize and pull from my internal strength? I hope this analogy is making sense. Okay, now, what is winter? If you think about winter, what happens during winter? Oh, the trees die. The trees don't die during winter. The trees be chilling. They literally be chilling, especially in Chicago. They be frozen. But the trees actually don't die during winter. They just purposely lose their leaves because it's no point. It's no point to have their leaves out if it's just gonna freeze and die. So the trees deliberately like kill their leaves, lose their leaves, and then the microbiologists, please don't attack me. Someone literally on my TikTok was like, "Oh, that's not how." I made a video about relating the animal kingdom and like evolution to entrepreneurship, and someone like roasted me and did like a reply reel to me or something, and then I didn't even look at the reel because like I didn't have time for negative energy, but he got so livid. He was like, "Bro, that's not how animals work. Read a fucking book." I was like, "Yo, chill." People getting so triggered, but you know what they say, people start hating, you must be doing something right. Anywho, so yeah, don't come for me. Obviously, I didn't do my research. I'm just observing. Based on what I observed, this is what it seems like. So I don't know if the trees purposely get rid of their leaves or the cold kills it. I don't know. All I know is the trees don't die and they let go of their leaves. But what happens? They let go of their leaves in Chicago 3 months, sometimes 4 months. This is winter. So what's happening during winter? 100% of their energy is coming from the roots. So apply that to your life. That means that for 4 months of your business, your career, or whatever, 4 months of the year, or it doesn't have to be 4 months, but just expect a period where you kind of gotta work on you. You kind of gotta not rely on anything outside of you. You kind of gotta not look forward to that validation, not look forward to the excitement. You kind of gotta go within and cut it off, just like the tree cuts off those leaves during winter month, because the environment, the situation at that time, it's a bad time to have leaves. Just like sometimes it's a bad time to be wasting time. It's a bad time to be distracted. It's a bad time to be out of shape. It's a bad time to be out here casually dating. It's a bad time to be on these dating apps. It's a bad time to be endlessly scrolling on Twitter. It's a bad time to be addicted to video games. The list goes on and on. So do you see where I'm going with dopamine detox? So I'll come back to this. But I say this to say that's where dopamine detox comes in. Assuming that you're a tree, it's taking on observing nature again. I always go back to nature. Just do what nature does. What does nature do? Nature doesn't grow leaves 24/7. Nature knows the right time to do the right things to make sure that it can create to the best of its capacity. Where humans go wrong is we think that, oh, we're beyond nature, or the laws of nature don't work for us, and we just go willy-nilly and try to do what we think we want to do, instant gratification, short-term gain as much as possible, right? Just like that leaf, maybe that leaf was like, man, if only I had my leaves for a little bit longer, I would have got a little bit more food. I would have got a little more energy. The tree could have been like that. But no, the tree understands, listen, as much as I want all that energy from the sun, guess what? It's not the time. It's literally 3 degrees outside. This is not the time. So what's the tree do? The tree lets go of the leaves, or they die or whatever, right? It relies on its other resources. It just follows the natural ebb and flow based on its purpose. The whole tree is the purpose. So coming back to dopamine detox and using the tree analogy, assuming that the tree is your purpose, right? You need to go with the flow of your purpose. If your purpose is demanding you to take a 6 months winter time where you are internally focused, where you are reading, where you are researching, where you are developing frameworks, where you are building your Dream 100 list, where you are working on perfecting your pitch, working on perfecting how you're talking to your audience, how you're communicating, how you're developing content, just taking a time to not necessarily production, because the production phase was summertime. That's when you had the leaves. That's when you were just put out. But the dopamine detox is all about, no, let's take time, and this takes more time, focusing on new ideas. How do I differentiate myself from my competitors, from the other people doing the same thing I'm doing? How do I get an edge on the people who just out here blindlessly, with the blinders on, just doing the same thing? I'm not saying that's bad, but dopamine detox is for the people who they're willing to take a loss from maybe their social groups for a minute. They're willing to take a loss from dating and sex for a minute. They're willing to take a little loss, sometimes even from the profit. Sometimes the profit has to get cut so that you don't cut off the life source of what's going to bring you more profit in the future, right? Sometimes a tree got to go back to its roots. Sometimes the tree is done enough branches. Now it needs to go a little further in the ground, get a better hold. You ever try to cut down an oak tree? You can't. You can cut it down, but you can't. It's hard to uproot. It's easier to cut down a tree, but it's hard to uproot a tree, right? And that's because the extensive root network. So you got to be like a tree so you don't get uprooted, right? And the only way you get cut down is if you don't agree to take a cut on the distractions. If you don't agree to cut toxic people out of your life. If you don't agree to cut negative influences. If you don't agree to cut alcohol, if you don't agree to cut drugs, if you don't agree to cut dating apps, if you don't agree to cut video games, if you don't agree to cut anything out of your life that is not helping your tree get bigger and bigger and bigger year after year, decade after decade. Some trees live to be hundreds of years. Just like certain people build businesses that are legacies and last forever. Look at Steve Jobs. He hit $3 trillion literally like 2 years ago. And he hit 1 trillion in 2014, and then he hit 2 trillion and like an exponential like 2 years later. So the thing is, when you take time to focus on the tree instead of focusing on how much you were getting from the tree at the certain point in time, you help build a bigger tree in the long run, right? Because the sun isn't going anywhere. The seasons are going to continue to change. You're going to go through challenges. You're going to go through highs. You're going to go through lows. You're going to have a spring. You're going to have a summer. You're going to have a fall. You're going to have a winter, right? But the thing is, it's all about time. It's all about timing, knowing what to do at what moment. So I hope I explained dopamine detox to you. My view of dopamine detox, right? I believe everything is about intention. So that's why I'm telling the story. So you aren't just going into dopamine detox willy-nilly like, oh, this is a fad. Or I see Gartatia on social media tagging dopamine detox on day 115 of his vlog. And I think that's cool. And I think that's getting him likes. So I'm going to start tagging dopamine detox. Shut the fuck up. Don't tag dopamine detox if you're not doing it. It's not a fad. You think I want to do this shit? You think I don't want to be out here fucking dancing my ass off to Chachami and Avicii? You don't think I want to do that? You don't think I want to be going to all these different raves? Fuck Chicago. There's Moonrise Festival in Indiana, and my friend is literally willing to pay my hotel stay to go with them. Like, I'm getting offers, so many distractions, good distractions, like to be on a yacht. And it's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good because it's wintertime for me. It's wintertime for me. And my leaves, I don't got no leaves right now. right? So I'm 100% rooted in because I know after this winter time is going to come the spring. And when the spring comes, I can slowly unravel, grow my leaves back, and then I'll have an even longer summer because I've built an extensive root system so that not only will my branches grow bigger and thicker, I'll have more leaves. I'll create more space. You got to build a bigger base. Right? My friend, shout out to German, he hit a plateau. Decent guy, big muscles, he's about 180, 5'11", decent size. But he wanted to go to the next level. And one thing the best piece of advice he ever gave me, he said, if you want a bigger body, you got to build a bigger base. And I've been doing that. I'm trying to train legs more 3 times a week. And that concept, I'm applying it to dopamine detox. I'm applying it to self-improvement. I'm applying it to personal development. I'm applying it to becoming my best version. You have to build a bigger base. That means that you have to build a bigger root system. If your tree keeps getting blown away and uprooted by tsunamis, I live in the Midwest. We just had a tornado like last night or some shit. I'm looking out the window. I was like, is this fucking Alice in Wonderland? Is this Wizard of Oz? I'm seeing squirrels and shit and like twigs and stuff getting like looped up literally outside, right? And some trees don't make it. Some trees survive, right? The trees that don't make it, they relied too much. They were top heavy on their branches. They kept trying to grow leaves and they didn't build a base. They didn't build an extensive enough root system. But you see some trees, they be stocky. They be, you could come up in there with don't even matter, a crane. You can't even uplift them because they've built such an extensive root system. They don't even budge. So that's the kind of tree you have to be. And the only way to get there, in my opinion, is to do dopamine detox. So now that you understand dopamine detox, I'm not going to go through the different phases of dopamine detox. That might be a different video, but I'll briefly kind of summarize it. So in my opinion, for 5 months of doing dopamine detox, I'll kind of relate, fuck it, okay, I might as well just do it. Okay, I'll explain them. But this is still like the the quick shortcut version because this could be long too. But while I'm here, fuck it, let's go. So what is the framework? What I've developed with dopamine detox, shout out to Iman Ghazi. This is kind of a hybridization of his system. His system was basically his dopamine detox, but he's at a level I'm not out yet. He's like a fully grown tree. So he's allowed to have this version of dopamine detox. And essentially his version is 6 months work, 6 months play. So it's 6 months of blinders on. He literally, because he's a millionaire, he like travels to like, he has a home in like 3 different continents, like one in Africa, one in Asia, and one in Europe. So he just goes to like the one in Africa where it's like less distractions. And it's not Africa, I think it's India or like Southeast Asia. Anywho, he just goes there for 6 months, away from distraction, away from clubs, away from partying, away from sex, away from alcohol, like all that stuff. And he just kind of hunkers into the man cave and just works on his business for 6 months. And then for 6 months, the other 6 months, usually like from summer to Christmas, he goes to his home in like Dubai, and that's where he catches up with friends, socializing, he's networking more, kind of reaping what he sowed, kind of growing out his branches, having fun, whatever. And then like the last 3 months from September to December, it's like he's still having fun, but he's winding down. So maybe he's not accepting every invite. Maybe he's not going everywhere. Maybe he's working out more. He's applying more of that structure back into his life. So that's his system. That's kind of what I went into going into. I was like, oh, it must be nice being a digital nomad. I want to live life like Iman Ghazi. That sounds fun. Work hard, play hard. But I'm not Iman Ghazi yet. I didn't build a multimillionaire business yet. He gets to do that because he's at that level yet. I'm not at that fucking level. So I had to humble myself and chill. I had to develop my own system. The system I developed is fuck 6 months dopamine detox. My method is nonstop dopamine detox until. That's my method. There's no time limit. Like I'm literally on dopamine detox until I feel that it's my spring. And like I said, it's still winter for me. people might say I'm winning, but for me, I'm winning every day. Let's establish that. I'm happy every day. I love what I'm doing. I'm enjoying the process. However, I want to be winning and at the point that I'm visualizing in my goals. And I have some dates that I've been journaling. I'm not gonna put that out there yet because I don't know who's watching this. Might be unknown energies. However, what I will say is within the end of this year, end of next year, that's where I feel that I'll be in the place to maybe start easing up. Maybe I might go to a spring. And what does a spring mean to me? So to me, even though I'm still in winter, I'm 5 months into it, and I'm not putting a time limit. I'm gonna stay into it until I reach kind of the goals that I'm trying to set. And I don't even like completely buy into the whole goals thing because that's a whole nother shit. That's a whole nother video though. But anyway, for the sake of explaining, I'll use goals. So until I reach my goals, I'm in winter. Winter means that I'm in the thickest of dopamine detox. And I'll explain what that means. So what does winter of dopamine detox mean for me? Winter mode of dopamine detox for me, typically it's like 3 months. Like if I wasn't going super hard, I would probably do it for 3 months, 4 months max, because it's really intense. It's essentially no distractions at all. It's essentially no phones, no social media, only to post. It is all notifications off except when you get a call or like a text message. So no TikTok notifications, no notifications at all. 0 notifications, no YouTube, no. It is no sex. It is absolutely no sex. So yeah, I've been celibate. So absolutely no sex, no masturbation, no porn, no Netflix, no YouTube. I don't no like self-improvement YouTube. However, like if your business is like learning, then you can watch it, but it's no like mindless YouTube. I used to, and I need to wind back because I have found myself kind of getting back into like while I'm eating, watching YouTube videos, and I keep saying to myself like, oh, it's helping me, but really it is kind of giving me a dopamine detox. So you see, ultra instinct. So, but yeah, no YouTube videos unless the YouTube videos you're specifically going to learn something. So no YouTube videos, no, what else did I leave out? No partying, no popping out, none of that shit. No friends, no hanging out, no let's go to the beach and let's chill. No drinking, no alcohol, no drugs, no weed, no nothing. So yeah, there's some stuff I probably left out. You all know what dopamine detox is. So that's what I've been doing. Now, what am I doing? The things that I'm doing in like my winter, and this is like the hardest monk mode of dopamine detox. I am running every day. Your dopamine detox might look different because your identity might be different. I identify as someone who's athletic and who's a runner. So I run every day on my hard dopamine detox mode. I'm going to the gym every day. I am making a shake every day, not eating cooked food until like 6 p.m. every day. I am doing 3 free yoga classes a day. That's me giving back. So a week, 3 free yoga classes a week. That's just me giving back. It takes a lot of energy, but I get so much more in return. So these are the things that I will do on my winter dopamine detox mode. And that's like the only social interaction I'll do because I don't hang out. So because you still need to maintain your social skills. So that's how I do it. I do it through providing a platform or an environment to give value. And it gives me value too because I get to still talk and interact with people. So I'm not a complete like weirdo when I come back. I'll talk about some cons later on. But okay, so this is what I am doing. What else am I doing? Strict like wake up time. So no sleeping in, none of that. Like if I agree to wake up at 4:30, I have to wake up at 4:30. So it's really strict, organized, regimented. It's every day spending all of my waking hours and all like the in between time, either like if I'm making a shake, if I'm in the shower, like it's no music. It's no music at all. The music is podcasts that are talking about self-improvement. The music is spying on other people who have my audience, who have my listeners, seeing what they're doing and how can I model them, right? That's what I'm spending time doing. I'm spending time working on just plans and working on research and reading and just doing as much as I can to absorb as much knowledge that would help me. So when I go back to these other seasons where I'm focused more on growth and like actually getting the things, I'll have the tools in my armada to actually make things happen. Right? And what else am I doing? Pretty much, yeah, pretty much those things. I may have left some things out, but just off the top, these are the things that I'm doing during this hard mode. So no hanging out. Those are the major things. No relationships, no hooking up, no sex, none of that. It's just everything I'm doing 100% is my business. There's no entertainment at all. At all. I've cut out literally like I'll comment on like the first post that shows up on my Instagram page or something. That's it. That's it. And I might even stop doing that. I don't look at any stories, no. And it's hard because they really try to get you. But I literally, the moment I open the app, I click the post, make content, I can make a reel, and then I'm done. And yeah, obviously I reply. I reserve like replying to text messages like once a day. So I just keeping distractions to a minimum. My phone is always on do not disturb. And I put it away from me as much as I can. And just, it's 100% focused, centered. And this is the phase I'm in now. Now, because I already bought tickets to some raves this summer, I am doing like a hybrid kind of thing this summer where like I am allowing myself to still go on these raves and stuff over the summer, but like it's not like the whole summer I'm chilling. It's like I'll chill for like a week here and there, or like I'll chill to go. I'm traveling later on this year. I'll chill to be in Utah, like to spend time with nature. So like you can have like little, and the only reason I'm doing that is because if I was just doing the strict 3 months thing of winter, it would be no distractions. But because I'm kind of doing this continuous winter hardcore, no bullshit dopamine detox until I reach those goals, I am allowing myself, little breaks to go to a rave, or literally it's like 2 raves in a whole year. So it's not like I'm doing this every weekend, or going camping like once just to immerse myself in nature, get some sun, just disconnect completely, like even from the business, just to decompress. So yeah, I will be doing that. However, while I'm still in these things, I'm still shooting content. I'm still going to be posting. I'm still going to the gym every day. So it's not like stopping anything. It's just, I'm just going to be adding, a little bit of freedom on those specific days. Mostly because I already paid for the ticket. And my friend literally bought me a ticket. He's like, bring your ass, like you're coming. So that is my winter. Now, my spring of dopamine detox, what a spring will look like after I finish this. And this is what I would tell people. A spring will look like, maybe I'm still not popping out, but a spring will look like if it's a friend who is a musician and I really like his music, maybe I'll go see him perform. Still not going to clubs to dance. Still not, no, none of that. But I'll see him perform. It is if a friend is in town and, I only see her like once every 2 years, and like she wants to spend the weekend like going to the beach or like going hiking or some shit. During my spring mode, yeah, I'll take two days off, spend some time. What is spring mode? I'll go to like a dinner with a friend and we'll just reconnect and socialize. I will, maybe once a month, I will go to listen to some house music with some friends. What else am I doing in my spring mode? I'll slowly allow some music back into my life. Like when I'm making a shake, I'll play some music. Just allowing my body to just experience, fun again, and, use those pleasure centers, those dopamine centers. So that's what my spring will look like. Maybe, I'll start dating again. Still not looking for sex. Still not, notice I'm not re-downloading Tinder. Notice I'm not going back to dating apps. No, none of that. Notice I'm still not having casual sex. I'm still not even really having sex. But like, I am still exploring my options. Maybe I'll talk to girls now. I mean, I'm still talking to girls, but maybe I might flirt a little bit. Maybe I will try a little bit more. Because right now I'm literally not trying. Like, it's like, nope, hi, little convo, out. Barely, don't even get their contact information because I don't want the distraction. But I'm allowing more, social interactions to come back into my life. Maybe might watch some YouTube here and there, just relaxing a little bit, but still working hard. Maybe not going to the gym every day, maybe going 5 days a week. Maybe not running every day, maybe running 4 days a week. Just allowing myself to kind of chill from that intense, because you can overwork yourself. You can burn out. And I'm just This is to not burn out. So this is necessary. Now, what does my summer look like? So once I do get to my spring and I'm not putting a date because I got work to do, I eventually will have a summer where, yeah, I will, maybe I might date people, go out dating, go back, see what that's like again. During my summertime, maybe like once a week, might spend time dancing, Still, I don't think I'll ever go to a club again, but if there's like a concert, my favorite performers in town, might go there like once a week. Go see Murata, go see Flume, go see Zed's Dead. Start doing that again. Going back to my hobbies. Still keeping the gym at about 5 days a week because you got to stay in shape, But I'll definitely not 5 days every day. Definitely not running every day. Taking time to travel. Maybe taking 2 weeks to travel somewhere. Taking time to just network with people. Might hang out with people sometimes. Just not even on some, just go to the beach, just chill. Still nothing crazy. Notice I still didn't mention I'm taking drugs and splurging and shit. No, still never doing drugs again. So like I don't know what Iman Ghazi was doing. I think during his chill phase he was still doing stuff. But yeah, me it's completely. Maybe I might sip a little bit of alcohol, some wine. Who knows? But I'm not gonna like be too hard on myself. Kind of going with the flow. Maybe I might fuck around and do shrooms once or twice. This is my summer phase. We not there yet, but maybe, right? So just kind of laying it out, kind of how I've modeled the seasons, model how trees kind of respond to the season, and that's how I'm modeling my dopamine detox. Now, what is fall? Now, fall for me is now easing back into hardcore mode. So we amping it back up. If I say I only went 4 days a week to the gym, now we going 5-6 days to the gym. Say I only ran 3 days a week, now you're running 4 or 5 days a week. Say I was only posting, maybe my posting went down a little bit in the summer because I was having more fun. Maybe I was posting 1 day a week, 1 post a day. Now I'm going back up to 2 posts a day, right? Say I was doing a daily vlog, or it's not daily anymore. Say I was vlogging 3 times a week. Now I'm vlogging 5-6 times a week, right? Say I was dropping, like right now I'm dropping literally, me talking to the camera like this every single day. I'm doing that every single day. Maybe on my summertime mode, I would do it like every other day. It wouldn't be this intense. I wouldn't be bombarding you all. Y'all gonna know who I am. You know what I'm saying? But, so that's just kind of how fall is. And then winter, I already explained winter. That's hardcore mode. And that could be 3 months. That could be 6 months. Just whenever I feel like I can kind of chill a little bit. Because I do understand there is a value. And when you go hard for too long, you lose certain skills. And that's kind of, I'll start off with the cons, since you all like to talk about the cons so much.